Good evening, everyone. Good evening. EDP365 covers topics with explicit language and is intended for mature audiences only. Topics may be sensitive to some, and everyday people may not agree with the views expressed on this discussion, but keep in mind, we'll give you the point of view of everyday people with everyday situations. EDP365 is not afraid to go there.
All right.
You're always like this, you know what I'm saying?
Why you all
Like this.
all fancy and shit?
I is.
You fancy,
Oh,
son.
yeah. You fancy, son. You fancy, son.
All right, so it is Tuesday, October the 22nd. Welcome to EDP365 Facebook Live. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Les.
And I'm AKA Chris Styles, and we're on EDP365 Facebook Live, y'all.
All
Bring
right.
it home. Let's get some claps in there.
All
Clap,
right.
clap, clap. What we do?
Is it 7 p.m.? Are people watching? It looks like you're the only one watching right now.
It's all good. They gonna come on in.
All right. So, whether it's one here, none here, we got to keep the party moving. So, tonight, y'all, I'm drinking my favorite wine. This wine has been debuted on the show before.
What you say about it?
It's been here many a Tuesday night.
And who was it about?
This is Tisdale Sweet Red. Again,
Tizzy.
one of my favorite. This is my favorite. No, well, ice wine is number one. This is number two. Ice wine is number one. This is number two. But I love Tisdale Sweet Red, and I can't get it everywhere. It's far and few in between, and so I was in that part of town today where I could actually purchase this wine. I was like, yo, I'm gonna go to that store and get my Tisdale Sweet Red. So it's not super, super sweet. It's not that fake out sweet where it's a little bit sweet, but it's still bitter. It's nice and mellow. I love this wine. It is so great.
I'm glad to hear it. And that's by
Tisdale, I love it. If anybody knows where to get Tisdale Sweet Red, let me know. Because I used to always get it from U-Crops, and then not U-Crops. U-Crops doesn't sell alcohol. When U-Crops changed to Martin's, I went and I got this, and so Martin's isn't here anymore, and so yeah, it's only one store in Richmond that I know of that sells this wine. So I'm so happy that I found it. Anywho,
So you can find it on Publix?
I don't want to find it on nothing Publix. I've only been in that store like one time, and I wasn't that impressed. I mean, it's a nice store, but I wasn't impressed.
They do have nice sandwiches and stuff like that.
All right, real quick, I got two things I want to say. Now we're talking about U-Crops. But anybody who loves U-Crops food, guess what, y'all? They opening up a cafe. Woo, out in the West End. I cannot wait so I can get my salad that I love from U-Crops. They have the best salad bar ever. Their pizza is the bomb. Their breakfast pizza and their regular pizza. What else?
Gluten-free? Made of cauliflower?
I don't know all that, but I know it's delicious.
All right.
Their chicken is great. They have, I'm not a big potato salad person. Like, I don't just be eating people grandma potato salad and stuff. But they have like the best potato salad. Oh my gosh, I just love U-Crops food. So I cannot wait for them to open that store in the West End. I'm super excited about that. All right, so one more thing before we jump into the topic. As I'm, getting prepared for the show, and Chris, I didn't tell you this yet, because I got this information, but yeah, I got it before you got here. So look, listen to this. So I read on Facebook, it said, 6 months of jail awaits trick-or-treaters over 12 in Virginia town. That is some stuff right there. So anybody 13 or over that is caught trick-or-treating, it doesn't matter if it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you go into jail for 6 months. Anybody of any age who is trick-or-treating after 8 p.m. will get 30 days in jail. It is a $25 to $100 fee. That was like the craziest thing to me.
Now, why is that?
I was like, what? So yeah, I read that today, and this is actually in Chesapeake, Virginia. So I just wanted to share that with y'all.
Now, what could be the cause of this? Is it because the kids, people in that area are getting robbed or?
Who the heck knows?
But that's awful. What's the point of even having a holiday? I don't really I don't do none of the holidays anymore, but what is the point? That's ridiculous. Like, what is the point of doing that? Like,
I don't know.
And you know what time kids get out of school and all that
Right.
stuff, and they're trying to get out there to do their thing. What's up with that? Anyway.
My guess is to keep kids off the street late. I guess if you're 13 or older, it could be scary for people. I don't know, but that's what the article said. And I really didn't get a chance to read the whole thing. I just wanted to grab the meat and potatoes, which again, if they're 13 and older and they're caught trick-or-treating, again, it doesn't matter what time it is, they're going to jail for 6 months.
Six months caught trick-or-treating.
Any age after 8 p.m., 30 days, and a fine $25 to $100. All right, so here we go. Oh, before we get into the talk, how was your day today?
I would say I had a great day today. It's my first day back to work. I'm going to say this, Eagles suck. The whole Dallas Stadium, and when we went to Dallas, Texas to see the game, I mean, the whole stadium, Eagles suck! Eagles suck! But again, just the overall experience and going down there, I am not a Dallas fan. Anybody who plays against the Dallas Cowboys, that's who I am. But my day was fine. I had a great weekend. A lot of tasty food from Texas. I'm telling you, you go there, you stay there any length of time, you're going to gain weight. Vegan or if you're a meat eater, it don't matter. I think vegans be cheap when they go to Texas. For real.
All right, so let's get into the topic, y'all. So probably a week or two ago, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw this post and it said, 2 sisters have different fathers. One goes to Disney and one doesn't. Is it okay for the one who doesn't go to Disney? Is that okay? Now, before we share our thoughts, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to share the thoughts of one of our ACHs, Ashley, and then I'm going to share Kanya, our sex expert to the show. I'm going to share her views, their feedback. And hey to everybody who's watching. If we didn't give y'all a hello and a shout out, y'all know I can only see so far from my chair. That's why I got my glasses on so I can see something. So I know people are posting. And that picture looks like Ashley, so that means I can see good. Oh yeah, it is Ash. All right, so let me share the comments that are here. All right, so Ash said, yes, the daughter whose father is taking her to Disney should not be penalized for what the other father can't do or won't do. If the mother finds it unfair, she should plan her own trip with the other child. So Kanye said, this is truly a case-by-case situation and involves a lot of trust on multiple sides. I've been in this situation and did not opt for my other daughter to go. The child that didn't go was perfectly okay with that, as she has her own relationship with her other family. A father to one has no obligation to the other unless that father is currently in all of your lives. A man coming into your life and you have a child with, most definitely should not be under one roof treating the other child differently because he's coming into and should be accepting the whole package. All right, so Blunt said simply, that's some fragnacle bullshit. All right, Chris, you share your thoughts first and then I'll share my thoughts.
Okay. Many of us, I've probably shared my story many times, and why I've always had a soft heart in these situations when it comes to something like that. Whether I'm going somewhere or not, or whether we're going somewhere and that's not my child, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to automatically, whether that child or the parent has the money or whatever that is, I'll just go ahead and take them. Yes, it's going to put me out, but it's also going to make that child feel like, I'm going with my sister, I'm happy to go and blah, blah, blah. And it also builds, your connection, your bond with that child as well. But as I got older and I started to see, I would say this. It's my first thought, and I have to stand on it. When I say stand on it, I'm going to have to stand
Oh
on.
my God.
All right. Based on my experiences, I was like, no matter how many heartstrings are pulled and how badly I would like to take care of the child or children with me, when I'm coming to pick up my child with this woman, he or she is only obligated, this is just my thought and my opinion, how I feel now, he or she is only obligated to take his or her child. And I'm going to tell you why I think that is. Again, it is that parent's right. It's that man or that female's right to take his child or children where he wants to go with them, of course, with the mother's okay, understanding, and consent. All right? So no matter they're going to Disney World, if they going to Texas to get some brisket, if they're going to a game cross country, whatever that is, it's up to that parent to decide or make that decision on what they're going to do. And I will say this, y'all. People are always jumping to conclusions. They jumping in their feelings, or people are always in their fucking feelings about what is fair and what's not fair. Okay? Okay, so let's bring up this situation. I've had a situation like this where I had a friend of mine's nephew or whoever, and we were going to the park to go do some things. And this is why I'm saying what I want to say. What if the child that is not mine, per se, hers, per se, yours, per se, gets hurt or killed being out with you, with the other parent's child or other sibling, and things of that nature? That person that trusted you to be on point and trust, here I am coming up to pick up my child, and we're going somewhere, and both of them are crying again, I want my sister to go, I want my brother to go, I want my cousin to go. And you're like, damn. Okay, let's go. So let's say if you're bringing this child along, you're making peace, and you're just doing what you feel that you would do, your heartstrings are being pulled, and this child, in the blink of an eye, you've been watching them all day, everything's been good. You turn around and get a plate, get something to eat, and come back, sit to the table, child's gone. Child runs over to the river, falls into the river, child gone. Child runs and plays, breaks her arm. Who's responsible for that, okay? Whose fault is that? How are you going to break that bad news to the other parent who may not have been aware of his or her child going outside of that other parent? Sometimes we have to set our feelings aside and just do the best thing. And sometimes the best thing is not carrying that other child, not bringing that other child along. What if the other child happens to get mistreated? I'm just saying, my bad. But these are some of the things that I just want to bring up so that people who get into their feelings and say, oh, I would have did this and done that, there's some more things you need to think about. It happened to me. I've seen where I have a son and my daughter. I seen when they went places with somebody else and something happened, and I'll get home and I'm like, oh, where my baby at? Well, we need to go to the hospital because what? What you mean? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Go ahead, mama.
What? So Christmas though, into something that I wasn't quite ready for. So hey Gigi, hey Carmela, hey Woody, Mr. Winborn, I am so glad you're watching the show tonight. Woody Winborn, you all, has a Facebook group called A Word with Dad, and so I'm glad he's watching. He has a lot of great topics in regards to fathers and sons, daughters, children in general, and so I'm glad that Woody is watching tonight, and I'm hoping he's going to share his feedback on tonight's topic. So for anybody who just tuned in, tonight's topic is two siblings, different fathers, one goes to Disney, is it okay that the other one doesn't go? My feedback, my thoughts on that is, it's not just a blanket statement because it depends on the situation. So if me and my daughter's father are not together, and he's doing his thing and I'm doing my thing, if he comes and gets, I say Bree, because that's my kid, he comes to get Bree, and he takes Bree to Disney, but he doesn't take Dre, he's not obligated to take Dre to Disney because he's not Dre-Sean's father. Now, if he opens the invitation to him, by all means, oh my gosh, thank you for taking him, blah, 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 blah. And during that time, if Dre's father is active in his life, then by all means, it's up to Dre-Sean's father, and Dre-Sean is my oldest child, he's 27, his birthday was this month, but it is up to Dre's father to be able to take him this place, take him that place, take him to Disney, and both of my kids are in their 20s, so probably neither one of them give a care about going to Disney, but
they might.
But it is not his responsibility to take Dre. It is my responsibility to say, okay, he's doing something big with Bree, you know, let me do something big with Dre. But in addition to that, no, I'm not going to always say, well, he's doing something big for Bree, now I got to do something big for Dre. I had to explain to my son, and I don't think anybody has said this thus far, you have to have the conversation with that child and help them to understand why their sibling is going off and they're not able to go to whatever that outing may be. Explain to them why. Now, this is why I say it depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use me and Chris, because me and Chris are sitting right here beside each other.
She's talking about depends. She's talking about the ones that you put a pull up.
I can't with this one tonight. But let's say me and Chris are living in the same household. We're in a relationship. And we have a kid. I give birth to Kennedy, who is our daughter. And,
Kennedy?
yeah, Kennedy is our daughter. And so, Chris decides to take Kennedy to, I don't know, we'll stay on Disney. Chris decides to take Kennedy to Disney and leaves Dre and Bree at home. I am going to have a problem with that because if we are now living in the same household and we're a family, the family includes my two children that he is not the biological father to. And so, yes, we need to make arrangements so that Kennedy, Dre, and Bree are all participating in that activity. And so, like I said, for me, if y'all are not living together, if y'all not in a relationship, by all means, hey, if you don't feel like taking Dre or you don't feel like taking Bree, I understand. But if we're all living in the same household, you better figure out how all these kids gonna go, because you're not gonna take one that lives in a household that we all live in.
Watch.
And you don't take two, and Chris is getting ready to get put out of my house because he's gonna take all three of the kids.
Watch me.
And so, like I said, it really depends on the situation. And then you have to have that conversation when you're bringing somebody into your household. How does he feel? And it's not just men, it's women too. How does she feel about your children? How does he feel about your children? Because I don't want a man coming into my household and he doesn't have respect for my children. He doesn't want to bond with my children. I'm going to have an issue with that. Let's read some of the comments.
Now, one of the things I will say before I read the comments is that sometimes you have to look at age and gender specific things. And I'm going to get into an example a little bit later, but it is very close to what Les just brought up. Sometimes some children cannot come because of the age difference and the event or things that we're going to, what we're going to be doing. It also, from age, it talks about gender. Now, I don't want to bring, I'm going to just give you an example. Okay, she has Kennedy, she has Dre-Sean, and she has Bree. I have a son who, let's say if he was the same age as Dre, and we're going to have a all boys situation going on around the same age, so we're going to go and rock with that. We got my two other daughters who are around or the same age as Bree. I would make a compromise. Let's say the next weekend or sometime during the week, I'm gonna go take them to Uptown Alley or somewhere, and we're gonna have fun.
Or maybe I can do something with the girls.
Or maybe, or vice
you know
versa.
what I mean?
Yeah. So we could balance that out in that way, so nobody's gonna feel like, oh, we're not going, we're not doing for one or the other. So there's ways that you can get around and move with that, but
it's
if I'm
having
taking
a blended family.
Yeah, but I was like, at least they have a better understanding. Like sometimes men need their time, and when I'm going to go take the girls out, maybe she go take them somewhere. So show them something a little bit different. Give give them her understanding and feedback, and let them do their thing. So it gives a balance and a better understanding of what's going on instead of like, nah, I'm not doing this because that's just my child.
And that's why I said make sure you have the conversation. That's very important. So those kids so they're clear on why Kennedy and Bree are going, but not Dre and the other boys are going. So we're gonna read some comments.
Now, I'm just gonna go back to Woody, because what we were talking about previously. He says, as a father, you invite and watch over them just as they are yours. And Woody, I've done that for most of my life, whether, if I was dating somebody, whether we were together, married, or vice versa, whatever that may be, is because I knew how important that was, at least for me as a child, not being able to go places because of that wasn't my father. Somebody's coming to pick up specific people from the house, and I'm looking like, well, wow, why can't I go? I never really took into the account of also finances. What if I only had enough to go and take my sibling to where we're going to go?
In which situation?
I'm just saying, period. Like, if there was some financial situation where, whether we were living in a household or not, we got the bills in the house to take care of, or if I'm single, I'm paying for my own bills and doing my own thing. I may only had $100 for the day, and I'm going to I'm going to take Kennedy out, and we're going to go do X, Y, and Z. And sometimes it's not always predicated on just because that person's not my child. It's a lot that goes into that as well, because now if I take this other person, I might be ass out for the rest of the day, or just whatever. We may not be able to do all the things that I had set up planned to do, or maybe I promised to buy her some sneakers or do something like that. But bringing somebody else along is going to deter or break what we talked about of doing for this specific person. So it goes a lot deeper than sometimes than just what we think on the outside is fair or not fair in this situation.
But I think with that, let me read Woody's comment real quick. If done wrong, it can create jealousy between siblings, which leads to bigger issues. Woody, if you're still watching, I don't know if you can, but post a link for your group so that people can join your group as well. Y'all know I'm always about promoting and helping other people out and shouting people out. So again, like I said, Woody has a page called A Word with Dad, and Woody is big on the kids and, being a father, being an example. A Word with Dad.
Okay.
And what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, enhancing our children, helping them to grow. But I want to say this, just a comment to yours. Even with that situation, it can be tricky if you're talking about a household where, because you said it doesn't matter one or the other. Like I said, if the man, and I'm just using me and you. So again, if me and you are not in the household, by all means, go ahead, take Kennedy out, do what you gotta do. Bree and Dre gonna be all right. But if we're living in a household and you're like, I'm gonna buy Kennedy some sneakers, I'm not buying Bree and Dre sneakers, or I'm not gonna take Bree and Dre to this movie for whatever reason. And sometimes that does come up. Maybe, it's Kennedy's birthday and you just want to spend time with Kennedy. And, it's just going to be Daddy and Kennedy's day. Mm-hmm. But again, like I said, because children don't always have a full understanding of things, we got to make sure, well, my kids are grown at this point, but you got to make sure you have those conversations with the kids. Okay, well, Daddy Chris is not taking you out today because it's Kennedy's birthday and he just wants to spend time with Kennedy, just him and, you know, just them doing their thing. Well, let's go out to the movies, guys, or let's sit here and watch Netflix, or what's your favorite dinner? What do you want me to cook? And then there are some children who, are not bothered by that.
Mm-hmm.
There are some children who are not bothered by that.
And you know, there's a high percentage that are not bothered by it, but there's some high percentage of children that will always be bothered by something that doesn't have anything to do with them, per se. And I really like that scenario that you brought up because, you know, on a sneak tip, you could have called me and be like, yo, you bring home bring home their favorite pizza.
Right.
You know, sometimes there's a balance and compromise to say, boom, you know, we understand the dynamic of what's going on. It's a blended situation going on here, but I'm gonna walk in that door with maybe their favorite meal or maybe favorite, whatever that is, and be like, oh, boom, you know.
And then too, in that you can't pressure somebody else or yell at or fuss at or curse out somebody else if they're not taking care of your kids. Again, now, me and Chris are separated. And for anybody who's new to watching, me and Chris are not in a relationship. I'm just using us because we're sitting right here. Chris and I have separated. Kennedy lives with me. I forgot what the hell my point was. Kennedy lives with me. He comes by to get Kennedy, but he doesn't pick up Dre and Bree. I can't say to Chris, why the F you ain't picking up Bree and Dre? Why do you taking all these kids out? And blah, 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 blah. They got feelings. They need some time out. No, because his answer could easily be, well, why aren't you having this conversation with their fathers? And then two, I'm not their father. It's not my responsibility to take them to the fucking front porch. So, it's not my responsibility. And people have to keep that in mind. You know, I always try to say everything is not just one blanket statement or one blanket answer. You have to look at the situation. And here's another thing. All right, again, me and Chris are separated. He is now moved on. He's gotten married. Chris is now married. We got a good parental relationship, but he's married now. And so he comes to get Kennedy. You also got to think of what he or she has to deal with in their own household dynamic. A lot of times when people get into a new marriage, a new relationship, sometimes that new spouse is not always feeling the kid. And so can you imagine what kind of turmoil can be created if you're bringing, well, you should be able to bring your kid regardless.
Facts.
But you're bringing your kid, and you know your stupid spouse got to get over that. But now you're bringing your ex-wife's kids, your ex-girlfriend kids over as well, and you're all, you know, trying to figure out how this is going to work. For some families, it works. For some families, it does not. You have some families that welcome not only Kennedy, but they'll welcome Dre and they'll welcome Bree into that blended family. And if you have a mature woman or a mature man, they will understand that it's about the happiness of the kids. They will understand that it's about parenting. So many people get caught up in, oh, you still dealing with that B? Oh, you still dealing with that nigga? Blah, 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 blah. And they lose sight and they lose focus of what's important, which is that kid. This is the one thing that I will say about Brianna's father. When me and Brianna's father separated, when we got a divorce, we were still able to co-parent. We were still able to co-parent. And so whatever was going on with his wife was him and his wife. Whatever was going on with me and my dude was me and my dude. But we still co-parented. Lionel would come and get Brianna, spend money on Brianna, do whatever he needs to do with Brianna, and we were still able to have those conversations as parents. And so that whole separation, it wasn't thinking, you can't have her around my daughter. You know, and he was never like, you can't have that nigga around my daughter, blah, 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 blah. When you start diving into those kind of things, it's more than just you're trying to protect your child. You're also trying to protect your feelings. You haven't let that person go. And so you got to make sure that the child is first and foremost, and they're the focus and not your feelings, and doing what's right for the child. And so I've told this story before, just to give an example. When Dre was about, I don't know, Deshaun had to be about 7 or 8, because him and Bree are 7 years apart. So he was about 7 or 8, and he would go and stay with his father for the weekend. And so one day, he had went out and purchased all this stuff for Dre. And so Deshaun comes home with the bag that I sent him with. And so I'm like, where are the clothes that you got for Dre? So he says to me, you tell that nigga, go buy Dre some clothes. Wow. So at that point, it wasn't about Dre anymore. He had, and I'm not saying he was jealous of Bree's father. I don't know what that was about. But whatever the reason was, he let that stand in the way of Deshaun having what he needed. And granted, I mean, it was fine that the clothes stayed there because we ain't need them. Deshaun had a closet full of clothes at home. You know, we took care of Dre. You know, Brianna's father was a provider, and so we weren't at home worrying about what Dre's father was going to do. My mother played a significant role, and still does to this day. She played a significant role in Deshaun's life, so it was never that Deshaun lacked for anything. But as his father, for you to say, tell that nigga you would to go buy his clothes, that says a lot. And so making sure that this child has the things that he needs, you rather leave them at your house and he can only wear them on the weekend. And so again, learn to separate your feelings, leaving an old relationship. And again, understanding what the focus is and making sure those children are first and foremost.
You know, again, I definitely agree with that because one of the things is that, again, I think at some point I've been there, done that, and it's not the greatest situation. And speaking of telling this somebody to do that, basically they saying, well, if we ain't fucking, then the hell with you, him, her, whoever, our children, bump all y'all, you know, and that's not right. It's not fair. Because you have an obligation to that child, irregardless. Now, I will tell y'all this to be honest. Real short story. My parents, grandparents, and even stuff that when I separated from my ex, even when we had things for my child or children, and we send it back with them, we never saw it again, or next time we saw, the clothes are dirty, or they never done anything with it. Like, well, what's up with that? You know, so it's like, look, we have clothes over here. I mean, of course, you more willing to pack and you bring clothes here. We're gonna wash and send them back to you when you come back, but they also got clothes here. So it's not necessary that we have to do that whole situation. You know, we got this. Don't worry about that. Just make sure that whatever we meeting, whether we going to go pick each other, drop them off, or do whatever that is, then we can do that. If it's cordial enough where I can drop them off at the crib and my maid is cool with that, then that's how we gonna handle. That's how we gonna do it.
Right. So what he said, unresolved issues with adults, kids should never be involved in them at all.
Facts.
So Woody has posted his link. You all join his group. I love Woody to death. Like I said, he has a great page. Again, Word with Dad. He shares a lot of information, has a lot of great topics, a lot of questions. I don't know if he does like a question of the day, but he does have different questions that make you think. Not ignorant stuff, but stuff that really makes you think. and want to be involved in his conversations. And so again, he has provided the link. Go ahead and click on the link and join his page. Be one of the group members. I'm a group member of Woody's Word with Dad, and so make sure you go to his page. Now I don't know if Woody still does it, but I remember. And Woody's had this page for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember a couple of years ago, Woody would actually get on his page and he would do a live.
Right.
I think sometimes, and correct me if I'm wrong, Woody, I believe sometimes he had his kids on there, but again, he would have great conversation. His lives are great. And so, Woody, I hope you go back to doing your lives on your in your group, because your videos are great. Again, you always have great things in your group, and we're all about promoting here. So again, make sure you join Woody's group.
Now, Woody did inform us that on the top of the new year, he's going to start doing those again. And again, those are very excellent topics and things that he was bringing up and sharing with us, and those who were also brave and great enough to also share their experiences and things that they're going through as well. So that's a very good thing.
So Woody, let's have a conversation and figure out when you can be on EDP365 Facebook Live. I think you were actually on the show when we first started.
Yes.
And if you need guests, of course, you can always call on us, and we got your back, Woody. We got your back.
We did.
But yeah, I would love to have Woody on the show, and so he can share some things with you all about being a parent. I also believe that Woody is a single dad. I believe his kids live with him, and so maybe he can share some information regarding that.
And Les, one thing that I think we didn't add in this evening is that let's add in a sprinkle of a problem child. Like let's say if you're if Kennedy was a total butt to the rest of the kids.
She get her ass whooped. What you talking about?
So if Kennedy was being a tail to the rest of the kids, and maybe myself, or if Kennedy was my daughter and you was a new boo and she was just being ratchet and terrible, whether she was a child or teenager, it's a very difficult situation to stay or be in a harmonious relationship when you have that going on with that type of child, and how you're going to come in and deal with that. And sometimes it's like the more love you show, the more you're ready to embrace them, the further they run.
I want to address that too. Let's read, who is this, Yolanda? Welcome to the show, Yolanda Johnson.
Good evening.
Hello, welcome. You want to read her comment?
Sure. Yolanda has shared with us this evening. She says, I was looking at it from another angle. If dad has another family and one child previously, and they go on family vacation, yes, he most certainly should include the previous child. Because it creates a separation between the siblings, and that what we as parents shouldn't want. And I definitely do agree. With that. If it was a harmonious situation, a great situation, sometimes you would hope that child is cordial and loving to the new family, because sometimes they problem child and nobody else wants to deal with that. And then two, we have to also, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, where we have to factor in sometimes the finances aren't there to bring an additional person into the fold. But maybe when I get back, I'm going to do something specifically for my child. And, those are different things that I guess we need to bring up and need to be discussed and talked about, in the dynamics of different households and things of that nature, parenting.
All right, so I'm going to go back and address something that you said. If you got a child with behavior problems or what have you, now, please don't think this, because Bree didn't have behavioral problems. But when, people start leaving the household, when Dre moved out on his own, and he moved out, I hate to say fairly young, but he moved out when he was 21. Rashawn is now 27. So the household consisted of me and Bree. And so we're used to our own dynamic, our own setup, and what we do and how we roll, how we get down. And so Bree would have a problem if a man was to enter the dynamic, the Les and Bree dynamic. And so, as Bree was growing up, and she's 20 now, as Bree was growing up, I didn't introduce her to every person that I met. I didn't. I didn't bring various men to my house, and that became an issue for some dudes. Yo, why I can't come to your house? Why I can't meet your kids? So of course that ended any potential of a relationship. Right. Any potential of a relationship or fraternization. Or why I can't come over, or why I can't do this, or why I can't do that. And I just was not ready for that to be introduced to Brianna. For a man to be introduced to Brianna, he comes into the household, not living, but he comes and he's around, and then a few years later, not even a few years, a few months later, he's no longer in the picture. So here comes a new dude, and here comes a new dude, and here comes a new dude, and here comes a new dude.
It's just a cycle of
right.
life, for real.
And it's a cycle, but again, that's not a cycle that I want her to witness. Mm-hmm. And with Bree is a little protective when it comes to me and meeting different people. And so you all have heard me talk about Big Will on the show numerous times. Well, Bree and Big Will have this close relationship. And so the second that me and Big Will are on the outs, and I'm like, yo, I'm done with this dude, Bree's like, no, I'm team Big Will. She's like, I'm team Big Will, and she's not ready for anybody else. And I know this is kind of going off from what we're talking about.
Bring them back.
But, she's not ready for anybody else to come into that household. And so if you have that child that is the problem child, or they're doing things, again, I'm all about having that conversation. You have to find out why they're acting out, or why, maybe a pattern is different, or why they're standoffish to this person or that person. And I can recall one time, I was getting into a very serious relationship with somebody, and he wanted to get married. He had proposed and everything. And so I wasn't ready for him to meet Bree, and he was very offended by it, but I wasn't ready to meet him because she wasn't in the right place. Bree can be very, very nasty. If anybody knows me and y'all think sometimes I can be nasty, I am nothing in comparison to my daughter. Nothing in comparison. And so if Bree don't like you, you gonna know that Bree don't like you. You're gonna know that Bree doesn't like you. And Dre is a lot more laid back. Dre is a lot more subtle with his being protective over mine. He's a lot more subtle. But Bree, again, if she not feeling you, you're going to know it. And so, like I said, it takes time to bring people together, to bring people into one household dynamic and one fold. And so again, as I always say on the show, regardless of what we're talking about, you always have to have those conversations. When you're bringing somebody new into your life, it's not just about you and that person. It's about you. It's about your children. It's about their children. It's about It's about the family dynamic. My daughter is 20, yes, but I still won't do certain things because of Bree. And I know that sounds crazy, but I still won't do things because of Bree, because technically she still lives in my household. Dre, on the other hand, Dre is 27. Dre is out on his own. He will give me his comments. He'll give me his feedback sometimes, but not like Bree does. And again, it's different because Bree is technically still in the household with me. Anyway, that's going off in a different thing.
You know what? I'm gonna give y'all kudos because of that relationship. Mm-hmm. That you are still respecting her as your child, or they're saying, well, no, you fucking get over it. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
and I can't.
And that will cause major animosity. And I know in the past, and I'm like, if my older kids are watching Christopher, Kristen, or Minuet, although I explain things to them, sometimes I came across a little bit brash. Like sometimes I would hear them out so much that they thought that they had a stake in to what I'm doing, okay? Yes, you do have a stake in what I'm doing, but I'm the president, I'm God, I'm king, I'm temple of this here and what I'm doing, okay? So my final decision sometimes came off a little bit brash because not that I got tired of hearing them saying or what do this, not a third, but everything that I have to do with my life when y'all grown now,
right.
You're not here. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what's best for me in the end. And I never wanted them to take that in a certain way, but sometimes because I allowed, I guess, you know what? It's not what I allowed. It was just how we done and communicated over a period of time, and it became like they were stakeholders in my life, and they decided on something.
Right.
It wasn't going down, and I had to show them a little bit different. I had to come to the card table. I had to come to the poker table with my dark shades on, and show them that no, everything that you feel, what you say, is not going to move over in this direction to change what I have, my dynamic, what I have going on here now.
Okay, I'm gonna give one comment real quick and then we can read the comments. But to this day, Bree plays a significant role in the decisions that I make with my life, and it probably shouldn't be this way, but it is. When Brianna graduated from high school, I had really contemplated moving back home to Jersey. And so when Brianna went off to college, I said, no, I can't move anywhere. I have to stay home. I have to be here so that when she's ready to come home, she has a home to come to. Now, don't get me wrong. Bree always goes to her dad's house. She's there a lot. But it's nothing like your own. And so I never want Brianna to leave college on any given day and don't feel like she can't come home to her home.
Right.
Because since May 9th, 1999, this has, Leslie, Dre, we have always been the household dynamic. And so like I said, when she graduated, I was like, no, I can't move. I want to be here. I want to make sure if Bree needs something, she can come home. If I need to go to wherever she's at, I can get there. Not I'm 6 hours away.
Ooh.
And so in addition to that...
Bus traffic.
Right, exactly. So lately I've been contemplating moving out of the state of Virginia. I've been thinking about it a lot, moving out of the state of Virginia. But the biggest thing that keeps me from moving is my kid. Although she's 20, she's going to be 21 in a couple of months. My thing is still, let her finish college first. And then I'll go on if that's what I want to do. And I probably need to get over that. I'm sure that I do, but it's hard. It's hard when that child's been in your household and it's still part of your household to make that change. I just feel like I need to be here for her when she needs something, when she wants something. And like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Dre. Dre is a lot more, he's independent in a different way. Let me say it that way. He's independent in a different way. And so Drayshawn lives off on his own. And so I don't talk to Dre as much as I talk to Bree. I don't see Dre as much as I see Bree. Dre is not dependent on me like Bree is. And Bree's very independent as well. But there's a difference.
It's a different dynamic.
It's a different dynamic. And I'm going to be here for both of my kids. But again, it's different when you have one child who's technically still in a household and one child who's actually moved out on their own and has been on their own for 6 years and they're living totally independent. All right, go ahead, Chris, the comments.
Now, Woody made a good comment, and Woody, I failed at the comment that you brought into the fold. I think Yolanda has also mentioned that. Ashley has also mentioned the comment tonight that kind of ties into what Woody is saying. He says a real man has to understand what's happening. You don't have to parade people in front of your kids. It creates self-worth and respect. So all those out there who are listening and looking, there was a time after my first divorce when I went through a period of time where I felt like my self-worth, my value was really, really low. And I think that still had a lot of things to do with the relationship not working and me promising God that this is going to be and last forever. We can make everything work and blah, 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 blah. And I even made an excuse for myself, like, wow, I got 3 kids and this and that and the third, and I'm a single male, and women not going to date or accept me because I got 3 kids and all this other kind of stuff that's going on. But in all real life and actuality, I started to date people and bring them in front of my kids. My kids get attached. And then a few weeks later, a month later, we not together no more. When I saw what that pattern was doing to them, that's when I shut it down completely. Like, nobody else is gonna meet my kids no more, and not unless we are very serious, and that they are the right combination of person, not only for myself but also for my children in a new family dynamic. I just had to mature as an individual and a person to understand and realize those type of things, and that did take me some time to do. Yolanda says, we as parents need to, of course, do better when it comes to co-parenting. But I'm coming from a place of this exact situation. She said, real life. I was not considered, and I'm dealing with the remnants of that now in my adult life. Wow.
I would love to have a conversation.
Yeah, I would like to, wow. That's deep. And then Woody had put on his page as well. He was like, go follow A Word with Dad, and he provided the link and everything below.
Click on that link, y'all. All it's a matter of is just and go into his page. Woody has great stuff in his group.
And even in my current relationship, I just do remember 4 years ago and prior how difficult it was to, even though you know the kids, we don't always understand, not until we get inside of the situation, what's really going on in that family dynamic, how it's being run, how I thought, from my background, how it was done, and moving forward with that, having them to respect you, having, it was just a very difficult time and situation when you're coming into a different family situation or dynamic that is very different than anything that you've ever faced, especially when you deal with children who are, came from foster care or they were adopted and things of that nature. That's a whole different planet. It's a whole different point of love and understanding and caring than you would ever dream of, because you would think that all kids are the same, just looking from the outside in. But again, that's not true, and this is a different outpouring that we have to do when we come to these situations.
I think you should do that.
All right, now, Woody also made a comment this evening. He says, our missteps can help someone else avoid those pitfalls. I feel your story and salute for you getting through it. Because Woody, many days, I was about to pack it up. But then I said, you know, as these children are approaching the age of adulthood, they're growing and they're maturing. And the things that we're teaching and trying to show them, hopefully they'll grasp and hold on to that and move forward with it. But it doesn't always take root. Sometimes it takes that grass that you're putting that lime and that fertilizer onto right now, it may take them till 20, 25, 30 years old to actually, for it to get root, depending on what type of trauma and things that they've been through as individuals and persons. And sometimes, you know, when you have a separation of a parent, or you live at other places and things were consistently being done that's terrible to you when you were younger, there's really no amount of love or understanding, the commitment and dedication that you may have for the development of these children. It's all you can do is plant them seeds and hope that they grow quickly. A lot of times they don't grow quickly, and in the midst of all this stuff, there's a lot of aftermath. There's a lot of resentment and disappointment. There's a lot of hurt going on. And later on, you'll start to see the seeds of everything that you've grown. But a lot of times, your relationship may have been severed by that point in time. Or you might not deal with them or feel the same about what you did early on in that relationship when you were dealing or bringing up these children. It kind of got off track, but it's still kind of combining the same when you're dealing with other children and other people outside of your own. So I guess in that sense, it does come into play. But I guess in the end of the day, you know, just like God, and Jesus always tells you, you know, I forgive you 100 million times. I guess you have to do the same and move forward, and also clear your heart and that understanding the situation. Yolanda, thank you. She said that's an awesome point. Plant the seeds. Definitely appreciate that.
All right,
Liz?
so I'm getting ready to show y'all just how much Brianna rules my life. She called earlier and was like, I need so-and-so done. What time is your show going to be done? So that was her thing today. What time is your show going to be done? I need XYZ done. And so we're not going to go like an hour and a half, 2 hours like as we do sometimes. But I don't want y'all to go anywhere because I have some great opportunities for entrepreneurs, brand builders, business owners. So what I'm going to do, and I would love Woody to do this as well.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do at this point is we're going to share our final thoughts. I'm going to share my final thoughts. Chris will share his final thoughts. And if Woody is still watching prayerfully, he's going to key in what his final thought is for tonight. My final thought is tonight, again, it really depends on the situation. Most important, have the conversation with the kids so they don't feel left out, so they don't have that, you know, that jealousy and that the sibling rivalry starts, but explain to them why Daddy Chris is not going to take them to Disney or wherever it is. Understand also that you can't pressure somebody to do something for your child if they're not that child's mother or father. Understand that it is your responsibility to fill that void if the other parent is not. And so again, have the conversations, and again, just make sure that your kids understand what's going on and you're not pressuring anybody to take on a responsibility that's not theirs.
And, you know, ladies, just to go into a little bit, I guess it's a part of my final thought answer. I've seen that happen too many times where there was one time, for instance, I had dated a woman who had 2 kids by 2 different fathers. Things like that happen, okay? You think that's the one, not the one. Oh, shit, he the one, he not the one, or vice versa. So what ended up happening was they were not holding any job down, or one of them went to jail, or this fight and things like that happening. So no money was coming in that end, but because she was getting that pressure, like, damn, like I really don't have the finances I need to happen, but because you are here and you need to, you know, we're going to be together, well, at least we're hoping we're going to be together, and we need to do something in a different way. I need you to handle this. I need you to buy them shoes and clothes and Pampers and can you chip in on daycare and things of that nature? But a lot of times that's not going to work because you already have what you have, your bills and your finances together. So again, it's just going to take some communication dealing with that. Most of my answers this evening for my final thought are going to deal with communication. Again, I still think, I know back in the day, I didn't have any, even if I was out of a relationship and if I had a child by somebody, vice versa, I always wanted to know and meet who my ex was involved in. I talked to them, I had a conversation with them. I'm like, if X, Y, and Z do something, yo, this is my number right here. Call me, son, call me.
Don't bring my table, though.
I'm sorry.
my bar.
But I'm just saying, instead of creating an atmosphere where as though we're divisive, whether y'all be together or not in the whole, is just the whole point of being a triangle unit or a square and trying to get this thing together and move forward, and getting the kids on the same page. Like, look, I said I gave permission to do X, Y, and Z. This should happen, blah, 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 blah. So everybody's on the same page, and they're not going to be refuted because of that, or somebody using somebody else against one another. Again, I just always say I try to plant seeds in my adult relationships, regardless of the circumstance, and also plant seeds within the children. Not to be divisive, not to be, what do you call that? Not to not try to rub or cause problems between one another. It's not trying to bring them together. If they decide to do that on their own and do different things on their own, they have to bear witness to that later on in their actions and how things come because of that. But that's all I really want to say about that. And again, when it comes to different situations, just be open. I would say open and honesty has gotten me a lot of understanding in many places that I probably have not ever had before in my life. And it's just being that communicative person, letting them know what the situation is, so we can come up with a solution and not a finger pointing contest. Who did what? Who was that? You know, we ain't doing that. I've done it when I was younger. It happened to me, and we just ain't doing that. Woody's final word for this evening, he says, as I say in a word with Dad, love, conversation, understanding, and finally, loyalty is what has to be in the beginning and during every dealing with kids in a relationship building. And that's a very good point. But I hope the kid also understands what loyalty and building is, because if they come from a place of hurt already, their normal and their comfortability is tearing down. So we have to get them to a place where they're not tearing down things anymore, and coming out of that mindset, that emotional mindset, and moving forward in a better place so we can start building.
All right, so Woody has posted the link. Please, you all join his group. It's just a matter of clicking and joining. He has some really great things in his group. Sounds like in 2020 he's going to be adding some more things, and you don't want to miss his videos. Yeah. His videos are really great, and so you don't want to miss that. What does that say?
He says, I can't wait to set everything up. Let's book it.
All right, let's have a conversation, Woody. And Woody, I've changed jobs as well, so you and I need to have a conversation. We do this every year, Woody. We don't talk for a while, then we have these brainstorms, and then we get together. But anywho, so now, please do not go anywhere, especially my brand builders, entrepreneurs, and business owners. Before we move forward with the announcements, if we could just have a moment of silence. One of my high school classmates, her son, I'm not sure exactly what happened, and I don't want to say the wrong thing because I don't know, but she lost her son, and I saw that on Facebook today, so prayers for Chantel Cashman. We could just have a moment of silence for her. And she has watched the show before. She's given comments, great comments, and so if we could just stop right now and have a moment of silence for her, please pray for her and her family. Again, she has lost her son. So as I said, please keep her in prayer. So tonight's announcements. Where do I start? We got so many of them. Let's start with Valerie's auditions. All right, so many of you know Valerie McAllister, who watches the show, who's been a guest on the show. We're involved with Valerie in some things. And so she's the author of the book club, and she is turning her book into a web series, and she is looking for men to be a part of the cast. I'm part of the cast. And so she's looking for men to come in and be a part of the cast. So auditions are going to be held on November the 16th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at North Park Public Library, 8508 Franconia Road in Henrico. Again, that's North Park Library out in Henrico. And again, she's looking for men to audition. She's holding second auditions on November the 23rd at the new Fairfield Public Library out on the Burnham Avenue. Now, she did not give permission to give her phone number out. So if you are interested, reach out to me. My telephone number is 804-424-0337. Again, my telephone number is 804-424-0337. If you are looking to be part of a web series, you want to explore your acting abilities, she is looking for men. 2 dates.
Man, let's show out.
11/16/19, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And again on November the 23rd at the new Fairfield Public Library. Again, reach out to me. My telephone number is 804-424-0337, 804-424-0337 if you are interested in doing that. Don't forget, Black Connections. All right, Black Connections is the first annual inaugural Black Business Expo. All right, there's going to be 100 vendors in one location. There are going to be people from Florida, North Carolina, Maryland, ATL, and New York. It's going to be on November the 29th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Crossroads Arts Center, 2016 Staples Mill Road. Miss Daphne Maxwell Reed, wife of Tim Reed. She was the second mom on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She's going to be there. She is an author, so she's going to be there selling her book. Miss Full Figure of Virginia will be there as well. Now, if you want to get a booth, the booth rent, I believe, is $75. Don't quote me, but I do have $75. If you have a food truck and you want to be a food truck vendor, that is going to be $150. Now, this is what's great. This is what drew me into Sandra. She is the CEO of Black Connections. If you cannot make it, you can donate an item. I actually donated 2. I don't think she's going to care if you donate more than 1. But donate an item. If it's your book, if it's your whatever your product is, and 100 business cards to go in their network bags. Now, your item is going to be donated. I mean, not donate. It's going to be raffled. Whatever your donation is going to be raffled. Submit 100 business cards. 100 people will know who you are. 100 people that you don't know. And so you want to be a part of that. And that's going to be, the last day to submit is on October the 31st. Chris and I will be meeting with her. And so then if you have questions, we can reach out to her. And maybe when we have our meeting with her, we can do a quick live and y'all can do you can talk to her really quick. So on Instagram, she is Black Connections. On Twitter, she is Black Connection 2. On Facebook, Black Connections. On LinkedIn, she is Sandra-Wilson-6B0474178. I'm normally not on LinkedIn or Twitter. I don't really like Twitter. The website is blackconnectionllc.com. That's probably going to be the best thing to do is go to her website, which is blackconnectionsllc.com. And so she's going to have, again, 100 vendors in one location. And this is going to be on Black Friday. I will be there. I will be there not as a vendor. Friends. Yeah, invite your friends. Not as a vendor, but I'm going to be there walking around, seeing what's going on, maybe taking some pictures, maybe doing some quick videos. And so again, come out and support her event. I'm super excited for her. She was on the show last week, so if you want information.
Dynamic show.
Right, you can go back and look at the archive show. She was on last week, so kudos and a big shout out to Sandra Wilson. All right, so Crystal and I, we are doing big things independently and collectively. We are having an EBO interest meeting. That's entrepreneurs and business owners. I'm the founder of the group. Chris is the vice president, along with Miss Betty Thurston, who is a vice president as well. And we're going to be having another interest meeting on November the 9th at Central Library in Chesterfield, Virginia. This is going to be the opportunity for you to come out and find out how you can enhance what you're doing as a brand builder, entrepreneur, and business owner. I had a conversation with someone today, and they need to come to EBO so we can teach each other.
So if you're new or you're thinking about creating a business, this is the place for you. If you are an experienced entrepreneur, I'm not going to say entrepreneur, but a business owner, and you are operating your business owner, you've been in there for a few years, we would also like to have you to come in to do a presentation or come on board just to enhance what we're doing as a collective and as entrepreneurs, business owner, family.
Yeah, share your expertise, but I've been finding out over these last couple of weeks, some of these business owners can learn something too.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not saying I'm always looking for something new to learn, and so I gotta email Jamal. I forgot all about that. But I want to learn some new things, and so this is going to be a dynamic group. And again, that's going to be on November the 9th. Right. You can go to you can go to Eventbrite to register.
EBO.
Right, or you can go to our page, EBO, Entrepreneurs and Business Owners. All right, post number two. Post number 2, spray and go so no one knows. Everyone poops, no one likes to smell it. You can probably see it in the mirror back here. Bottles are $3. Citrus Blend, Alpha Mist, Island Breeze, and Orange Spice are the 4 fragrances, okay?
Well, fellas, most of y'all, I deal with Alpha Mist, baby.
Alpha Mist.
Get the Alpha Mist. I'm ready to make a reorder. I'm almost done what I had.
All right, so blinged out parties. I'm a blingologist. This is my blinged out shirt. If you are interested, ladies, get your friends together, your sorors, your church organization, your bridal party, and come out and create your own blinged out t-shirt.
Get your clique together.
Drink is more than a party, it's an experience. I am a blingologist, I'm an independent contractor, and we can set up a party for you. I am also a business shower consultant. That's somebody else. All right, business shower. If you're an entrepreneur, brand builder, or business owner, you need to have a business shower. It's like a baby shower or a bridal shower, except you're celebrating the launch of your business. I've had 2. First business shower, I had other entrepreneurs to come in and talk about their business, but I got great gifts. I got gift cards to Walmart, Amazon. I got money. The second one, I got money, but instead of having entrepreneurs get up in the front of the room and talk about what they do, the people that were there sat at the table and gave me some great ideas as far as how I can make my business grow. So a big shout out to Mark Durright, who gave me lots of ideas. And so if you're interested in having a business shower and you don't know which route to go, give me a call and we can sit down and I can do a consultation with you. The consultation is free, but when the services kick in, I'm going to need some loot. All right, also, real quick, join EDP365 Facebook Live. Join Me Connect Promote. Me Connect Promote is for you to promote, to promote your business, your brand, events that you have coming up. So you want to post there. ADAC is Authors Then in Co-op. Join that group if you're an author. Post some tips. Post some books you have coming up. Post some authors events. Richmond, Virginia events and vendors. I'm always looking for places that will show where I can be a vendor at. And so you can go to that page, that group, to post events that are coming up. Doesn't always have to be yours, but if you know some great events that are coming up, post that so we can attend or we can be a vendor and we can support other people. My Gino group, Girls Night Out. It's just a fun group where women can post some Girls Night Out pictures, some ideas for a Girls Night Out event. And so join that group as well.
Join.
If you want to be a guest, if you want us to promote what you do on EDP365, we would love to have you on as a guest. We can try to help promote what you do. We're all about building and growing.
Networking.
Yeah, those are all the announcements that I have.
And all the things we networking and we be
right,
on the
exactly.
streets and
exactly.
we be holding down and we be talking to the kids and supporting the kids and sharing things of that nature. And that's what we do.
We do what we do.
That's what we do.
We do what we do.
So with that being said, I just want to reach out there and just say this. Wow. Philadelphia Eagles suck. Okay? I know my family back home, they twisting and turning, they can't sleep right now, how they performed against the Dallas Cowboys this weekend. So, with that being said, just to close things out, that was just a little Eagles humor. Dallas Cowboy fans, what's up, y'all? Really know bigger or know better. Y'all just called a team when they was down. But you know, we always gonna fly high. We gonna get back. We gonna get back. So with that, until next week, you know what? Let me tell y'all what's going on next week before I shut down and close out, because I think we skipped by all. Like we was like, next week's show is going to be a very touchy show. It could be a heated show, but here at EDP365, that's what we do. We don't hold back.
That's what we do.
We bring the noise.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
So next week's show is going to contain, we're going to talk about is one person cannot be your all in all. But ain't you, they be my all in all for you. We don't want to write that song. I wish I had that song. I'd have played it tonight.
I got it.
You got it?
You know my phone is the lead.
Yeah.
We can play it next week.
So we're gonna play that next week when we start next week. We're gonna play that song. You'll be my all in all. There is not one person who's gonna be your all in
You're
all.
everything I need.
And
for you, I wish
for the
to
majority
share
of the time,
a special part of me.
yes I will.
Whenever you're in need,
Mm.
you can give me a call.
Let me give you
You're
a
my
call.
one and only.
Huh.
You my all in
Oh,
all.
no.
Y'all know nothing about that.
Ah.
So, y'all know nothing about that.
That was a butter joint.
Y'all know nothing about that. We're gonna play
But
it
next week, that's what we're going to dive into, because too many of us, I don't know if it's ego or it's a program or what we've been taught. There is no one who's going to be your all in all. And we're getting to why. That's to why. I believe and understand what that is. I know Les will disagree, but that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
We'll see.
So we're going to bring that to you next week. But as we shut down tonight's show.
I got to share one thing.
Oh.
Don't forget to celebrate your victories, whether they're big or
small.
Don't give up. Just when it get rough, just when it feels like you can't do no more, that's when you got to do just a little bit more. Don't give up. Give God something to bless. If you stop, He can't bless it. Keep going. Keep praying. Have faith. He will open the doors for you.
And sometimes just have a simple conversation with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, how you really gonna know and get to understand, you throwing up all this shade and all that type of stuff, but you ain't really talking and having a conversation. That ain't good. I will say this. So until next week's show, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on EDP365 Live, Facebook Live. Listen, I want y'all watch the skies. Watch your surroundings. Stay woke. Be safe. Stay on your grind. Maintain sound and mind. Make peace, not war. And with that being said,
we got to go because Bree getting ready to call.
Peace.
I'm going to get in trouble.
We out. I hear somebody knocking on the door now. Mom!